is up, you radical guys and gals up there? It's me, Radical95, here at the newest installation of my Halo 5 map showcase series, MapQuest, the show where I, Radical95, give you, the viewers, a tour of maps fresh out of the works. Today, we'll be once again returning to the planet Subterrae, this time to channel our inner Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake, or Lara Croft as we venture into the Crypt of Sandizini. Yep, this is the map you all waited over 3 weeks for. So I'm gonna pull a Gabe Ben and say that after 3 weeks in development, hopefully it would have been worth the wait. Speaking of waiting, we've done enough of that here in the Forge menu. Let's boot this thing up and enter the crypt for God's sake. Yeah, sorry if you were expecting something way thicker here. I'm talking with at least 69 C's. The guy in charge of making a render of my OC here, her Queen Sandizini, for the thumbnail, although you can see right here, tried his best to render her natural thickness, but he isn't used to drawing girls big enough to have their bodies technically count as weapons of mass destruction. Here's how the Queen actually looks. Much bigger of a difference compared to on the thumbnail. But he tried, and that's all that matters. Now, what took this map in particular so long is I went all out here. I want this map to be more than just a bunch of pretty rooms to explore. I wanted it to have a purpose. If you recall from the lore of Queen Sandizini on my DeviantArt page, she wasn't always called Queen Sandizini. In her previous life, she went by the name Queen Ifriti. On the day March 14th of the year 2020, she was killed in a valiant battle against the creature of the abyss that attacked the Ethereal Desert and threatened to destroy all of Subterrae as the people of it knew it. She purged the creatures of the land, keeping the planet safe and sound, but it proved to be the last stand of the cherished empress. As the weakened Ifriti, after the smoke cleared, collapsed to the ground with a thud, being rendered as nothing more than a lifeless corpse. Thus, the glorious Sphinx, as seen on Jinx's Sphinx, was erected within the towering monuments surrounded in oasis she once called home, with intent not only to immortalize the cherished queen, but also serve as her final resting place. Which leads us to where we are today, 549 years into the future, exploring the inside of the Sphinx that is undoubtedly aged over the course of the many years that it stood. I mean, just look at all the grime and shit that's on the floor and walls. Well, one good look at this place, and yeah, it definitely shows how old this place is. Now, as one may expect with any ancient temple, well, plenty of traps, intricate puzzles, and probably most of all, glorious treasures can be found within. Which, let's keep it above 50 here, it's the reason we're all here to begin with. Now, as we explore these winding tunnels, that make up the crypt of the reborn empress, you will come across a room like this. Over a pit of bottomless quicksand, and that is beneath these towering pillars connected by aged bridges. And within this room, 4 altars. There's a grand door that leads to the queen's final resting place. Is at the end. This door right here is what you're all after. For Hella, I would think. But it will only open if the correct altar is activated. Choose incorrectly and, well, let's just say you won't be alive long enough to regret your foolish decision. Especially if you just stroll up in here and activate these randomly, hoping you'll get at the right one that activates the signal to open the door to the chamber. So, how does an adventurous tomb-raiding Spartan 4 super soldier the likes of yourself find out which is the correct altar to activate? Well, that requires some exploration. Here I have a note featuring instructions from Sandizini herself as to how to properly overcome this trial while you struggle to outgun your opposition, who also seeks the treasure, which reads as follows. If you do not wish to perish in here, then your instructions are very clear. To find the treasure you desire, make sure to light each torch on fire. 3 rooms are there that will reveal what is fake and what is real. Take caution, young one. Although you are strong, you will soon regret it if you are wrong. She always was a sucker for a good brainbuster. As to why I am no rapping, there is no reason I can muster. So let's cut the shit and probably explore this place already. Starting with where we originally spawned, and at the bottom of the blue stairwell, leading into the crypt. Here we have our standard spawn of BR and frags as we enter the blue incinerator room. Now these are activated by a heat signature. So the moment something that has a living, breathing pulse passes through it, yeah, things are bound to get a little hot. Especially if you dilly-dally in front of set at hot stuff. Something like that will happen. From here, if you're smart enough to clamber over these incinerators, or up on top in the central pillar, which acts as a method of high ground, you have an option to pass into Blue Vault, which is protected by an arcane barrier of magic that only allows Spartans of the same color to pass through, as if nothing were there, or lead deeper into the crypt while picking up an SMG. Now, to our left, as we venture out of Blue Spawn, this is the Sword of Illusion, and a grand weapon that will aid you in your quest to claim Sandizini's treasure. Or it would be if the floor didn't give out on you as you try to claim it. Yeah, that prophet's bane at the end of the hallway is just there for bait. To get people that are too stupid to figure out, wait, it's too easy. I just run after it. And end up triggering the trap, thus causing the floor to give out beneath them and drop them into the endless void below. Yeah, consider that a warning for if you try to grasp at the Prophet's Bane at the end. And don't think you can, and either way, there's an invisible blocker preventing you from doing so. So either way, you're going to fall into the void if you end up triggering this. And so will anyone else that's on the bridge at the time of you triggering it, like the fucking retard you are. Now, what's the thing? Oh yeah. Along with its attempting to grab the sword, you have a couple other ways as to where you can go as you leave the Blue Spawn. Either right into the dining room, or left into Sandizini's secret spa. Both of these we will go into further detail about later. But now let us descend into the hallway. Pick up a plasma pistol as we then go into the dining room. We're at the top of the stairwell. We find ourselves a spawn for a covered in carbine, and some mysterious blue energy find the statue. But seeing there's a teleporter in clear sight, one would expect a rather cryptic way to access it. Well, that's where the torches in this room come in. By jumping up from the table and activating this lever, or by activating this torch, granted you don't die from the burn damage before you can, it will cause the statue to topple over and gain access to the secret room. Hold on, let me get my notes here. I think I got some in here. Alright, yeah, I do. Now, as you explore the crypt, you will come across sacred fire pits like this one, and in your travels. As a riddle from Sandizini suggests, you want to light his pit on fire, and upon doing so, a mysterious clue will appear out of thin air. Remember this symbol closely and find 2 more rooms just like this one elsewhere in the crypt. Then and only then should you return to the altar room. So let's better explore this crypt and uncover the secrets that are within. If we continue to our right, we will come across a puzzle room. For this puzzle, you will require the help of an ally or an enemy you are willing to temporarily put aside your differences with. As for how to solve it, it's simple. One person stands up on this pressure plate here, while the other activates the keypad that is within the wall that is opened up, but so long as someone is still on the pressure plate. The same wall that at this light rifle and 2 splinter grenades spawn. But for the sake of time, then we're gonna cheat and activate and open this door ourselves. It is there where we find ourselves in the next room, an expansive pool of lava with no visible way across. But it just so happens there is a way across. If we look up at the ceiling, we will find a strange pattern engraved within it. Turns out it is, in fact, like a walkway across to the other side, to an energy sword spawn and a terminal that will lead us into the next room. So long as we very carefully follow the path as across, instead of just blindly running and making a leap of faith. Those clever enough to observe this should be able to make it across the pit just fine, and claim the sword and activate the door to the next fire pit chamber, which we will now access as we make our way back across. Very carefully. Which we then enter, and then activate the fire pit, thus granting our next symbol. Now, only 1 more remains, and the way you access this room is a secret found in the spa room that we've previously visited. So let us leave this room and potentially snag up a storm rifle and 2 plasma grenades, as well as maybe a bolt shot. As we make a left, go down on the hallway at the DMR and sniper rifle spawn, and next to the Unk, Continue down the hallway, up the staircase, and make a hard right into the spa. As with the dining room, there is a torch in here that opens up a doorway to the next room hidden in the deep end of this mud pit, where a scattershot spawn also lies. Now on the table here, we find ourselves a spawn for 2 more splinter nades and a suppressor. And it is this torch that triggers the entrance to the next room. The crossroads of confusion. Now do not be alarmed by the complexity this room initially presents. The method of overcoming these crossroads is simple, so long as you remember 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Lose track of time, lose your way. Allow me to explain what this means real quick. Look at the face of an analog clock, and note the positions of the 12th, 3rd, 6th, and 9th hours. Now enter the teleporters in the order of the 12th hour, the 3rd hour, the 6th hour, the 9th hour, and the 12th hour one last time. If done right, you will find a drop down onto the 3rd and final sacred fire pit. For those of you who have played SD Hunter, you may recognize this puzzle as the same one required to progress from the Yughat Forest to the base of the Talu volcano, where your final challenge awaits in that game. Now that we have gotten all 3 of our symbols from the fire pits, let us take the stairs and drop down to the torture chamber, as we make our way back to the room with the altars. You should only return here once you have found all 3 fire pit symbols. Now once you've returned after uncovering them all, inspect the altar symbols that are engraved on the top of each. Then, recall the symbols you have discovered throughout your journey. These 3 symbols you have found throughout the course of your adventure are warnings as to which altars should remain untouched. Find an altar with a different symbol engraved on the top of it, And when you think you have found the right one, activate it like so. A chime should appear and play that you've selected the correct altar. From there, you can venture into the Queen's final resting place and claim the vast rewards within. All the mythic weapons, from the TARDIS gavel to the Sphinx Prime to the Prophet's Bane, and even the Nornfang. This will give you quite the edge over your opponents, in fact, that were unaware of the treasure that lies within. And for those of you who watch this video here today, you now know how to find your way into the burial chamber of the reborn empress and claim her vast treasures within that can easily turn the tide of any battle. And with that being said, I guess that about does it for my showcase of my newest original map by the name of the Crypt of Sandizini. For those of you who have an inner Indiana Jones, Nathan Drake, or Lara Croft just dying to get out, if you want to download this map for any reason whatsoever, the instructions to do so will be conveniently listed in the description below for your convenience. Conveniently! As usual, if you haven't liked this video, then prove it! Drop a like! If this happens to be the first video on my channel you're seeing, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you'll always be alerted when new videos, like this one, get released. Provided your channel notifications are on. So click the bell that appears after you hit that subscribe button, and then, BOOM! Now get channel notifications. Not only will it help me as a YouTuber, but you'll be happy it did. Also, if you know someone else that might like this video as much as you did, then hell, why not share them between the replay share button down below? Also, while you're at it, why not drop a follow for the one responsible for the render of Queen Sandizini on the thumbnail. I mean, honestly, he didn't have to do it. But the fact that he did, it is worthy in itself of a shout out. Seriously, you need to go check him out. I give him some support. He really did a good job. Anywho, until next time, this is Rap195 signing off. Peace and out.